our group presentation, we decided to do the Ellison Preschool on school-wide implementation of functional communication training, use picture exchange communication systems.
I'm Bree Mcneail.
I'm Nonye Gali.
I'm Erica Greenlee.
I'm Valentina Gomez.
I'm Samantha Saxman.
And my name's Meghan Lynch.
Okay. Ellison Preschool is an inclusive school located in an urban area. There are 200 students that attend the school from the ages of 3 to 5 years old. 50 of those students receive speech therapy, with 20 of them being nonverbal students and 5 of them using PECS as a method to communicate. In the school, there are 20 classrooms total, each containing 8 to 12 students, 1 teacher, and 2 assistants. Other staff members at the school include 1 occupational therapist, 1 physical therapist, 1 principal, 1 BCBA, and 4 to 6 volunteers daily. The behavior problems that are taking place at the school are sharing toys, tantrums, fighting, and fighting over toys. Picture Exchange Communication System, also known as PECS, is an augmentative and alternative communication system that allows individuals who have limited or no speech to be able to communicate using PECS. PECS is a low in cost, easily maintained, and portable. Research has shown that PECS is an effective method used to increase verbal and social communication behaviors in individuals of all age groups.
Using PECS as intervention was determined to meet the National Professional Development Center on Autism Spectrum Disorders criteria as an evidence-based practice. To be considered an evidence-based practice for individuals with ASD, efficacy must be established through peer-reviewed research in scientific journals using 2 randomized or quasi-experimental design studies, 3 single-subject design studies, or 1 high-quality randomized or quasi-experimental group design study.
For how to implement PECS, there will be a mandatory staff training during school for 6 consecutive days. The staff will be educated and trained on the PECS system phases 1 through 6, and they will be trained by PowerPoint and training videos, and they will also get the chance to role play with each other. At the end of the training, the staff will be asked to model what they learned during that training. So if they, for example, were learning about phase 2, at the end of the phase 2, they will be asked to model phase 2. More training will be offered if necessary.
So here we have the 6 phases of PECS. The first phase is called the physical exchange phase, or the how to communicate phase. In that phase, the child is taught to hand over a blank picture card to the communication partner. The second phase is called expanding spontaneity, and that's where the student is supposed to grab a picture card from the PECS board and place it in the hands of the adult. After a while, the distance between the child, the board, and the adult is gradually increased. That phase is also known as the distance and persistence phase. The third phase of PECS is called picture discrimination. And this is where the teacher can teach the student to discriminate between multiple pictures on the PECS board. The fourth phase is called sentence structure. This is where the child is taught to look for the PECS board on his own and then create a sentence on a strip, combining the card that says, I want, with the card of the desired item. After that, the student is supposed to look for the communication partner and give them the sentence strip. Then you have the fifth phase, which is the what do you want phase. And that's when the student is asked, what do you want? And he will respond with the question appropriately. The last phase is called commenting. And when the question is asked, what do you see? The student should be able to select a card with the object on it and combine it with the I see card. After doing so, the student will receive an unrelated reinforcer.
To implement PECS, you will need a set of identified reinforcers, a 3-ring binder, pictures of the reinforcers, common items in the environment, and common phrases, Velcro strips, a strap, computer, printer, and laminator.
For modeling of the strategy, the teachers will be using video modeling, and they will be doing role play. For video modeling, each phase will be shown across 6 different days, and role play, the teachers will be able to role play with each other to make sure that they know the difference between each of the phases.
Here you have some examples of PECS. And as you can see, they all look different. They can be individualized and cater to the class or the individual student. And so no two boards will really look alike. You can use clips, you can use rings, binders, boards, notebooks. And so there you see how they all look different.
All right, so here we have a phase 1 video example and an all phases example. For the purpose of our study, we're going to show you the phase 1 example because this is the section of PECS that we decided to use in our intervention. So here you will see the hand over hand prompting to get the item that they want, then followed with the picture to teach the relationship between the item that the client desires and the picture that they're using to communicate. Oh.
Rubik's Cube. My turn. Rubik's Cube.
So this continues, but you can see that before the client is able to get a hold of the item, they're prompting her to hand the picture as a form of communication to receive that item. How PECS can be used to address the needs. PECS will help individuals who are nonverbal and who have language delay communicate in the Ellison preschool. By having this functional communication training taught to these individuals, this will help reduce fighting between the students. It will create ease on stress and less frustration for both the students and the teachers because they're able to communicate their needs. And there's a better learning environment because both the teacher and the student understand each other through this type of communication.
For the overview of school-wide implementation plan, we're going to start off with the professional development activities. During training, the staff will have the opportunity to implement what they learned through role-playing activities, and if additional activities are needed, they will be provided by the consultants.
For parent and community involvement, there will be a school-wide parent meeting conducted to introduce PECS. Parents will need to be provided training through either parent meetings or an online system to become familiar with PECS so that their children can use this system outside of the school setting as well. The training staff will need to emphasize to the parents that this type of training and using PECS outside of school is essential for generalization of these skills and being able to communicate through PECS, specifically for those nonverbal children or those with communication barriers. The main focus for the parents is that the more practice the child has using this system, the more independent the child's communication through PECS will be in the future.
So the startup cost, the initial cost for PECS is quite minimal, and the ongoing costs are pretty low. The startup cost is $500, but that includes the basic supplies like binders, straps, Velcro, scissors, a lamination machine. And then free resources can include like clip arts, or you can print out pictures that are more individualized and that caters to the students or the school. Then we have the professional development training and workshop for the staff members. It's $100 a day for a total of 6 days, and each day one phase of the PECS will be shown and modeled and role played. And then we have a one-day workshop, which is going to be provided for the parents. It's $200, but that does include a training manual and a handbook to go home with each family. There's no need to hire new staff or any kind of salary changes. And then there's going to be 2 days allocated for a follow-up meeting. So they're $100 each. And during those meetings, staff can ask questions about training, scheduling, planning, or changes in procedures or any kind of readjustments that are needed. So the total package will end up being $1,500, and it includes all of those services that I just mentioned.
Some final tips are to make sure to have items identified as reinforcers and to deliver the reinforcers immediately for appropriate communication. Prompts need to be stated quickly and the intervention needs to be consistent.